Aloha, West Maui voters. My name is Ramon Kitaichi Madden, and I'm running for the State House to represent West Maui in the upcoming 2010 primary elections. I live, work, and play in West Maui, and I'm a proud parent of a 12-year-old son who attends Lahaina Intermediate. West Maui has seen a lot of changes, but most of them have not been for the better. If you talk to the people on the streets, we're faced with our infrastructure that's over capacity and underfunded. We also have an education system that is not our responsibility. We seem to be giving up the control to Oahu when what we need is local school boards to fix the problem and allow principals to keep more of the money. We also are experiencing a major problem with our small business in West Maui, and West Maui is small business. Over 90% of the businesses in West Maui are considered small. They're in trouble. They're basically suffocating with too much rules, regulations, and so I'd like to lower those and also fines and fees to give a small business the room they need to breathe and to blossom in the future.
Okay, the first question is about Lahaina Luna High School's boarding program. What do you think about the boarding program? Should it continue to get state funding, or should it look elsewhere to sustain operations? If funding is kept, what areas of education should be cut instead?
Well, I'm a big supporter of the Lahaina Luna boarding program. I went out and got petitions. I sign waived. I actually appeared on the cover of the Lahaina News with a big poster saying I support the Lahaina boarding program. Now, every 2 years it seems that the Lahaina boarding program is up for funding. When I'm elected to be the State House representative, I think that one of the most important things I could do is submit a bill to promote the boarding program in perpetuity. I'd like to see something that's like a 24-year plan, and that would mean that whenever they wanted to remove funding, they'd have to remove it. Just like the school, it's been there even before the state legislature. We shouldn't be fighting to keep it every 2 years. We should be working together to improve it. And so, to reiterate, basically, we shouldn't have to defend our right to have a boarding program. We've always had it. And instead, they should come up with a really good reason why they should remove it.
Two industries on Maui most impacted by the economic downturn have been the construction and tourism sectors. What do you plan to do at the legislative level to get these people and those trades back to work?
Well, there's a lot of projects on the books for development. And if you take a closer look at the 2030 plan, they're looking at bringing upwards of 40,000 people just to West Maui in some of the numbers. I think that would benefit the construction industry a lot, but I think it would really hurt tourism. And I don't think that we can afford to kill the goose that laid the golden egg. So a lot of these projects are planned on ag land, and I'm a big promoter of diversified agriculture. We need construction jobs, and we also need tourism jobs. I think that if we work together and focus on community input, that we really can find a win-win and balance the situation. But because West Maui is over capacity, I would not support any new large development projects without getting the infrastructure that we already deserve.
What type of legislation do you hope to introduce to help stimulate the neighbor island economy?
In West Maui and in Molokai, those places are both traditionally agriculture-based, and I think that it would really promote the economy to move towards that again. There's a lot of barriers and restrictions that stop us from being able to do what we've done naturally for years, and most of those come from the legislature. So what I'd like to do is dissolving a lot of those things that are stopping us from being competitive, such as the rezoning of agricultural lands, the movement of waters. All these things are part of our constitutional rights and part of the legislature. It's up to the legislature to defend those. Like I said, traditionally we've been an agriculture-based economy, but also a business-based economy. I think that we can move back towards that, where business and agriculture can work together to be beneficial to all of us. We should be the salad bowl of the Pacific. Maui, West Maui, and Molokai working together. Instead, we import almost 90% of our food. And I can't say that the legislature is helping the situation. As a matter of fact, I think through their stalling, they're more of the problem and the reason why we don't have that right now.
There are currently widening and realignment projects taking place on the Honoapi'ilani Highway, but they don't address the immediate concern of traffic relief when there's a fatal traffic accident or a fire forces the extended closure of the roadway. What alternatives do you envision to alleviate infrastructure concerns now?
Well, I've been a supporter of the Lahaina bypass for a while, and I've looked at the plan is a good plan, and unfortunately, the way that it seems to be progressing, it's all dependent on the Highway Road and Modernization Act passing. And that basically means that in the state of Hawaii, we pay some of the highest gas taxes in the nation. On Maui, we pay 52 cents per gallon extra for every gallon of gas that we pump. Now, that money is supposed to be allocated to fixing our roads. And the real tragedy of that is that not all of the money that was allocated for the roads was used for that. Instead, it was basically raided into the legislator's general slush fund. And now that we want to do these big highway improvements, I believe the Highway Road and Modernization Act is a $4 billion project, $4.17 billion, coming from Oahu, where they've melded all the projects together that are overdue. And they intend to pay for this now with future tax increases. So basically selling our future out to pay for something now that we should already deserve. I believe that we can make these things happen and prioritize these projects. I'll break them up into smaller projects and not one giant lump sum. And that's specifically because we did have the money and decided to do something else with it. So the legislature should be their responsibility to figure out how to get that money back without raising taxes.
Any closing thoughts? This is your opportunity to touch upon anything that I didn't ask that you think is important, or to give some contact information on your campaign.
Once again, my name is Ramon Kitaichi Madden, and my campaign slogan is "Don't get mad, get Madden." When I ran the last campaign, I focused mostly on the problems facing West Maui. This year, we're focusing on solutions to the problems. I believe that the greatest resource on Maui is the people of West Maui. And I realize that there's lots of problems and lots of things that the State House is expected to come up with solutions for. My plan is to look towards the solutions in the community and allow the community to come up with organic solutions instead of top-down solutions coming from Oahu. We need to focus on home rule and what's best for West Maui first. Now, as far as other things that we haven't mentioned so far, I'd really like to take the time to talk about the doctor shortage that's occurring on Maui, because if we continue to keep losing doctors to the mainland, then we'll be there'll be less care for the people that need it. And I think that the doctor shortage has already reached emergency levels. The problem with this is very simple. It's that the medical malpractice insurance is much cheaper to get on the mainland. That means that to do business in Hawaii, a doctor is losing money every day that they're in business. There's a real easy way to fix that, and that's a punitive cap on damages, and that can only be done by the state legislature. So we need to do that. That's called tort reform. It's been tried before, and I believe that we need to keep trying until we get this to happen, because that's the only way that we're going to be competitive in the state of Hawaii, and not just keep the doctors that we have, but encourage other doctors to come over. In closing, I'd like to thank everybody once again for supporting me in the last election. I received 2,000 votes, and I knocked on 2,000 doors. We're trying a lot harder this year, and I believe that we can win it. So please tell your family and friends on West Maui, don't get mad, get Madden for State House. Mahalo.